Good morning. Happy Thursday. We are here both in studio today. Trent, great to have you here. Actually in the studio. It's a great day. Before we get started, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. But we've got a lot to talk about because the Broncos, I think that the best way to put it is that they made a strange signing yesterday. They made a kind of a weird out of nowhere signing. They needed a tight end, obviously, with some injuries that they're dealing with, but they didn't go for a tight end that would really get any major playing time.
No.
They went for a tight end that's going to be maybe a leader, a 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis. Crazy signing. I was shocked when this came through. I mean, you were telling me about it yesterday. I was completely blindsided by it. Strange.
Yeah, I thought it was super strange. Like they need a blocking tight end, obviously, because Lucas Kroll just underwent surgery. Nate Adkins was a DNP at practice yesterday. And it's just a practice squad signing, so we'll see if he actually plays. They still got Troutman and Ingram in the room above him, but 41 years old. 41.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He was a member of the 2005 All Pac-10 team. That team had Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lendell White, Maurice Jones-Drew on it. He was the 2005 Mackey Award winner, which he was going up against another Broncos Super Bowl champion, Vernon Davis.
Wild.
And then in 2004, he lost the award to Heath Miller, who won a Super Bowl with the Steelers. So this guy's seen a thing or two. But like you said, I don't know how much he's going to play, but that veteran leadership, that presence, kind of like what a Deandre Jordan had for the Nuggets the last couple of years. Yeah. I think that that's super valuable, what he can bring to the table just from a leadership perspective. He doesn't even have to step on the field. But obviously they brought him here because he's such a good blocker, and they know that he can be physical and get the job done on the line.
Yeah, I can't say that there'll be a chance where we'll get to see him play and actually make history, because if he steps on the field in a Broncos uniform this season, he would be the oldest NFL tight end in history to ever play a game. So he would immediately break that record if he just comes in and takes one snap. That would be fun. That does seem like something that the Broncos maybe would do, but they would have to elevate him from the practice squad. So there would be a few things that would have to be done for that to happen. But really, with the tight end room like the Broncos have right now, with Evan Ingram, Nate Adkins, obviously, and Lucas Kroll, who are all out. Those guys, not Evan Ingram, but those two guys are out. You're wanting some leadership. Especially, you look at the team last year and what the tight end room looked like last year. It was not great. And somebody like this, especially last year, would have helped incredibly. It would have been a huge signing. Evan Ingram has somewhat of that veteran leadership just because he's been in a position where he has been successful on a team before, with the Jaguars too. Yeah. So both of them being successful, but Mercedes Lewis coming in and just having those extra 10 plus years on Evan Ingram and being out of the league for so long and being that kind of coach on the field is a great, great decision for the Broncos.
Yeah, and I think you look at how Cortland Sutton is to Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant, the young guys in that room, excuse me. I think you see how important the leadership is. And he's still young, I guess, if you compare him to Mercedes Lewis. I mean, everybody's younger than Mercedes Lewis in the NFL landscape, but it's just, I just think it's so valuable. And like we're saying, I don't think he's going to step on the field at all. Vernon Davis barely played for the Broncos in 2015, but since he was in that room, he helped those guys on the offense out, and he was a good leader. I think that we can kind of see some parallels. Now, the best parallel between Mercedes Lewis and Vernon Davis would be the Super Bowl that came out of it.
Yeah.
So, but I just think it's so valuable, and it's such a low-risk signing. Practice squad, you're not risking anything. You say, hey, here's a guy who's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. Let's go take a shot in the dark, and if it works, it's awesome, and if it doesn't, no sweat.
No harm.
Move on.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. And of course, on Wednesdays, we get to hear from, the Sean Paytons, the Bo Nixes, the Cortland Suttons of the world. They both, or all three of those guys took the podium, but Sean and Bo really had that kind of, energy to talk about Mercedes Lewis, and they've got that, drive to want to go out there and praise their new signing. Those two guys, we know how they operate. And Sean spoke on just the signing, and he said, quote, well, he's someone, you kind of follow his career. I knew he'd been in training. I knew he's in great shape. He's a tremendous blocker. I think you don't want to get caught where man it's got to be jumbo. So we brought him in for a workout, brought him into our practice squad. I'm glad he's here. He's a tremendous leader. I'm anxious for you guys to be around him. So good first day. So Sean basically saying how Sean Payton does. Yeah, I knew he was going to be good. I knew. I've been following him for forever. No, you haven't. But, he's obviously wanted to get out there and say this is a good signing because of the veteran leadership he can bring. He's still healthy. He's still physical. He can be that blocker that the Broncos would need if he does come on the field to play. So he's obviously very happy about the signing, but that's Sean Payton. He's never going to be like, oh, well, I didn't want this guy. Obviously, it's a new signing. You want to praise him. And that's what Sean Payton does. And then he also spoke more on the leadership, on the off-field leadership, saying, quote, yes, and I had heard he had been in the league long enough where the reports have just been unbelievable anywhere he's been. Jacksonville, Green Bay, Chicago, it's good to have him here. So again, talking about that leadership, he's been following him. Yeah, saying that, he's a good leader. And that's exactly what this team could need. So more of that leadership, just exactly what this team can need. But will that leadership be apparent right away, do you think? Or is it going to be something that you're going to see slowly, the differences?
Oh, I think so. And I think the big thing that it could help with is the penalties, because the Broncos, everybody knows that the Broncos have a penalty problem on offense, on defense, everywhere. They have a penalty problem. And to have a guy like that who can see the game, not quite from a coach's perspective, but it's like almost like a middle perspective of player and coach, I think that it'll really help. And he'd be like, hey, like he's talking to Adam Troutman, like, hey, when you try and reach this block, maybe change your hands to do this or whatnot. Just little things like that. I think that he could really help the Broncos operation improve. Again, even if he never takes a step on the field on a Sunday. And I think you heard it from Cortland Sutton yesterday. He said something along the lines of, there were so many conversations with Mercedes Lewis yesterday. He said everybody was picking his brain. Everyone was asking him, what's this? What's that? And I think you can tell that just on day one of him in the building, the young guys understood the importance of his presence and tried to take advantage of that and say, hey, what have you seen that can help me become a better football player? And I think that that's super valuable.
And I think that speaks volumes to where this team is at, both mentally and maturity-wise.
Yes.
You look at these young guys, because overall the core of this Broncos team is very young.
Yeah.
So having these young guys have someone to look up to on the field and be so vocal about wanting to ask him questions is something that you cannot take for granted. Mm-hmm. That is something that, most teams beg for. Most coaches beg their young players to go talk to the vets. Most players are almost nervous and intimidated. These guys don't feel that way. They go out there and make sure to make the most of their opportunities. It's a very real team feeling that everything is with the Broncos team right now is such a real, collusion almost. Like it's so well crafted and all these guys clearly want to be here. And then of course Bo Nix spoke on sharing the field with Mercedes Lewis, saying, quote, it was pretty cool. He didn't look like he was playing as that old of a veteran, but he's going to, I'm sure, help us out in different ways. I remember watching him growing up, so I'm excited to be teammates with him, actually sharing locker buddies. So he's right next to me in the locker room. I'm sure we'll get to know each other. And then eventually when we are on the field together, it'd be nice knowing that he has our back. It was funny in there. He says, when we are sharing the field. So clearly Bo thinks that he's going to be out there.
Bo is confident.
Bo's confident that he's going to be out on the field. And that's the number one thing for me right now. Obviously the, leadership and aspects of that, but seeing him get out on the field and be the oldest tight end to ever play a snap in the NFL, that would be so much fun.
Oh, I agree with you. And the other thing too, like, did you see him yesterday? He looks like he's 30.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in such good shape. Yeah. And like, you go look at his social media and see how he trains. You go look at the pictures of him from practice yesterday. Like, he looks young. He looks young and spry. And
he looks really good.
We'll see how it is when he's on the field and he's got a bunch of 24-year-olds running around him. But he looks to be in good shape for a guy, and for 41 is very old for NFL standards.
Oh, yeah.
But he's been training for this moment. He's been ready for this moment. Sean Payton finally gave him this moment. So we'll see, if he gets the opportunity to take advantage of it on the gridiron and what he does with that opportunity. I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out. I don't really think it can go wrong unless he drops a pass on 3rd and goal in a clutch scenario.
Which, and why would he be?
Why would that happen?
It would never happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of good to look at. And what I'm mostly worried about is, how's a 41-year-old going to react to a 24-year-old, linebacker hitting him for the first time in however so many years he's been out of the league? But clearly Bo thinks he's going to play. I think that he'll get a couple snaps this season.
I do too.
It's just bound to happen, especially with the way the tight end room is right now, how injured they are. There's a very, very good opportunity that it happens also sooner rather than later. Like, you got teams like the Texans coming up. You got teams like the Raiders coming up. How much do they really care about, sticking with their plan in the third quarter against the Raiders when you're up 21-7? Maybe 21-3. That's
you think the Raiders are going to score 7 points in that game?
I had to bring that one back real quick. I was like, I don't know if they're going to even be able to score a field goal. Well, so in that kind of situation, I would not be shocked if he plays. But what do you? So you think he's going to play?
I think he's going to play.
When do you think that could happen?
I think the Raiders game would be a good opportunity. Give him another week to kind of warm himself up here in the Mile High City, and then that Raiders game, like you said, probably going to be a game where you might see some Jarrett Stidham and whatnot in the fourth quarter in my eyes. So
I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it too, but I think that I do think that Sean will, if he is activated, I do think that Sean will throw him in on like a 2nd and 8 in the second quarter to run some off tackle run, just because that's Sean Payton and that's how he is. And the Broncos, when they activate players, they play them. Like they always use all 53 strategically. So if they're activating him, that means that they have a plan for him. So I don't think this week, I think they're going to let him get acclimated a little more, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him against the Raiders. Our guy Roy's in the chat.
Love to see you, Roy. Always good to see you.
He doesn't think that he's going to get much playing time, and he's not a big fan of it. But again, like we're saying, it's so low stakes, though. It's so low stakes.
It's low risk, extremely low risk, and extremely low reward. It's a net zero. The only positive really that comes out of this is, hey, you got a good story. You got some great leadership for these young guys, and you can make some history. With you'll have a Broncos player next to the oldest tight end to ever play a snap in the NFL. So overall, it's a positive thing. This is not something that you want to say is a bad move. There's nothing that could possibly come out of this that's bad.
Yeah.
So overall, great move. Kind of strange overall, just because again, he is so old, but hopefully we do get to see him. Net zero. Love to see it. Love to see the leadership being brought in for these guys. But we should move on because last night we got to see the Nuggets in their truest form, as good as they could be, completely dominant. There are only so many times that I can say the Nuggets are going to win the finals this year. And I'm going to say it again. I mean, sure, you're beating up on the Pelicans, beating them by almost 40 points. But wow, the starters didn't play the fourth quarter, and you still beat the Pelicans by nearly 40 points. Complete dominance. Trent, what did you see in that game yesterday?
I thought it was phenomenal. I think that's the great point. Aaron Gordon, 23 minutes. Cam Johnson, 27. Jokic, 28. Murray, 25. Christian Brown, 27. Jokic played the most minutes in the game with 28. And we talked yesterday about how that this bench is 10, 11, maybe even 12 deep in the regular season at least. And that showed last night. You're getting plus 14 from Valanciunas in 14 minutes. You're getting plus 9 from Hardaway in 14 minutes. Bruce Brown, plus 13 in 19 minutes. Like, everybody was looking good. And now the Hunter Tyson, Zeke Naji, Spencer Jones, they're all -5, and Pickett's a net 0. But those are the end of the bench
because they were in
guys.
for the final 6 minutes of the game.
Exactly. The guys who played meaningful minutes in that game, everybody looked well. I mean, Jokic, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 for 15.
Wow. Regular game.
Cool Jokic
That
game.
is his fourth triple-double, though, to start the season. 4 triple-doubles in just as many games. Now joins Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook, tied for the most triple-doubles to start a season.
That's crazy.
But, it wasn't a good game for Jokic. It wasn't like, not that it was a bad game. It was just like a...
It was an average Jokic. It was just like, it's like, it shows this greatness that, it's just, we're so numb to this. Like, oh, yeah, hey, 20 point triple-double, 67% from the field. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. It's all right.
So, but that's awesome that he doesn't need to go out and have 60-point triple-doubles every night this season, and they can still win games by 40. And I know, and like you said, the Pelicans aren't good.
They're terrible.
They're
0-4.
The Pelicans started Deandre Jordan at center last night.
That was a joke, though, almost.
They just don't have any center help on Jokic. I mean, they got Derek Queen, they got Yves Missy, they have They had Hunter Dickinson on the roster. I thought he didn't play last night, but this team is not that good.
No, they're really bad.
The Deandre Jordan tribute was cool last night. I was happy. I was
really
happy
cool.
He got his tribute.
And
he deserved that.
I think that's why they started it, because he ended up only playing 12 minutes. He played 24.
Mm-hmm.
They started Deandre Jordan, and I don't know if you saw the beginning of the game, but Nikola Jokic and DJ are going up for the jump ball, and they're like going right at each other. And you're seeing Jokic do that thing where he goes like this. It's the straight. So that was really fun to see. But just I mean, they're 0-4. They're one of the only 3, I believe, teams in the NBA that has yet to get a win.
Yeah,
and it's really not fair. I mean, this is like they're tasting chum in the water from the second the Pelicans step on the floor. So it's complete dominance. But then you look, and it's like, did anybody for the Nuggets other than Nikola Jokic, who, if he's any other player, that kind of triple-double would be praised, but that's kind of like an average game from him.
Yeah.
Is there any player on the Nuggets that really like had that great of a game? I mean, I'm looking at Jamal Murray, 5 for 14, and he could not hit water if he fell out of a boat in the first 2 quarters.
Yes.
And then he played the third quarter, got most of his points there, hit, I believe, 3 threes, and then had a couple layups and free throws. So most of his points came in the third quarter, but to begin the game, he was terrible. Christian Brown, 17, 8 for 13. That's a solid game.
He was solid. It was good to see him get rolling.
His passes were amazing. Him and Jokic had a couple but like set up pick and rolls that hit incredibly. Cam Johnson, only 7 points, but 2 for 4 from the field. Aaron Gordon, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 2 for 5 from the field. So not really any standout incredible performances to put up 122 points and then win by 88 to 122.
Felt like they won by 88.
Yeah, felt like they won by 88.
But and again, it just goes back to the depth. Nobody needs to have a standout performance on this team to be good. And I think my winner of the game last night, it was who my winner was on Monday, is Tim Hardaway again.
Yeah.
4 for 6, +9, 11 points in 14 minutes. You brought this guy to be a spark off the bench to shoot the ball, and he's done it well in the last 2 games. And then also Valanciunas, another winner, like we're saying, 10 and 6 in 14 minutes, 5 for 7 from the field. So this Nuggets team, they went out and made all these moves this offseason, and it's showing through 4 games that these are paying off by the starters playing less, by the scoring being evenly distributed. It's a great sign through October, and it's only October. I'm going to keep saying that, but it's a great sign that this team can win games like this.
Yeah. And there were so many moments, like usually in the past, I feel like I've said it on this show multiple times where I'm like, when I see the backup center in, I'm like clenching my fist. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where the Pelicans are going to end up making a run to beat the Nuggets. That is not the case yesterday. You know, like my winner of the game was arguably Jonas Valanciunas along with Tim Hardaway. Like both of those guys were incredible. Jonas Valanciunas was sitting right in the top of the paint on that free throw line hash mark area. And he was getting the ball, and he was just making quick work of anybody who was guarding him because they were running a strange 2-3 zone that was not working. They were almost forgetting about Jonas Valanciunas when he's 5 feet or 10 feet away from the basket. So he was eating up there. He had like 3 possessions in a row where he scored an easy bucket and then passed out to the corner for an easy 3. Bruce Brown also played incredibly well. You know, only 5 points, but 2 for 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. That's the Bruce Brown that we know. Everybody likes to think of when he was in game 5 of, or game 4 of the Western Conference against the Lakers. And he had some incredible plays that helped explode past the Lakers. But this isn't what we need from him. You just need him to be consistent and go out and get that 5, 4, and 2 and 2. That's amazing numbers.
Exactly. And like, you don't need Bruce Brown to fill the box score. The only box score stat that matters for Bruce Brown on a nightly basis is the plus minus. And he was a +13. And one night he will score 17 and it'll be awesome. Yeah. It'll be great. But he's still just sitting here. He only took 3 field goals last night. And he hasn't, he's taken, in the 4 games, he's taken 3 field goals, 4, 6, and 3. He's not shooting the ball a whole lot. He's averaging 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He was a Swiss Army knife when he was here last time. He's still playing solid defense. You just need him to be a positive, and he's showing that. So I'm only focused with him on the plus minus. I don't care how much he scores. I don't care if he has 43 blocks. If he's a positive, that means he's doing what the Nuggets need. And those are things that aren't usually going to show up in the box score.
Yeah. Yeah, it was overall great. I mean, the bench overall, 52 points on 54% shooting. The bench is the reason that a lot of teams end up winning the finals.
Mhm.
You look at the Celtics a couple seasons ago, obviously the Thunder last year, all of those teams. The only team that no, I can't even say that because the Nuggets bench back in 2023 was not bad. I mean, they
were good. It was only 3 players.
Yeah, it was
but
Bruce Brown, Reggie, and then
Jeff Green and CB.
Jeff Green. Oh yeah, and CB was on the bench.
Green
Yeah,
and CB.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a small bench, but those guys, they played well. And then, last 2 seasons, the bench didn't play well, and it showed. And so, like you're saying, that's a formula for winning championships. You got all these star players around the league, but so many of them don't even get close to winning a championship year in and year out because the rest of the roster is not good around them, and it's not complementary. This roster is built to make Nikola Jokic succeed even more, and it's built to keep the Nuggets afloat when he's on the bench, and it's really working so far through 4 games. It's awesome to see. And we didn't even talk about their 29-2 run last night.
Yeah.
29-2. 29-2.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch. I mean, I knew the Pelicans were bad.
Yes,
they're obviously bad, but you let a team you're going against, I don't care how good the team is, score 29 points, whatever. You let them score 29 points. You can only muster up 2. You can only muster up 2. And that didn't come off of a field goal. It came off of free throws.
Yes.
There are only 2 points during that run came off free throws. They didn't hit a field goal for I believe it was 7 minutes. And I'm just pulling that number out, but I believe from what I was seeing, it was 7 minutes and 40 seconds or something. They did not hit a single field goal.
Yeah, it was bad. And then you got and you see Jokic makes a shot, Cam Johnson makes a 3, Aaron Gordon makes a 3, Christian Brown makes a shot, Murray makes free throws, Jokic makes a layup, Cam Johnson makes a shot, Brown makes a shot, Jokic makes you see, it's not Jokic. It's everybody is contributing to this run. They're spreading the wealth around. And the Pelicans, I mean, they're just they have no idea. They're
lost.
They're lost.
Completely
and because
lost.
the Nuggets have 5 guys who, with the integration of Cam Johnson, it seems like he's already fitting into this system. We know that he's still got some stuff to work on and iron out, and that shoulder's bothering him, but the flow is there from what I've seen. And when you see a run like that, where all 5 guys on the floor are contributing to the scoring, it's awesome to see. Again, it's just this team is constructed. This might be the best team around Nikola Jokic in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I 110% agree with you. Yeah, and we've said that. I remember saying this after Aaron Gordon put up 50 and the Nuggets lost to the Warriors. The Nuggets don't find success when one player goes off.
No.
When Nikola Jokic has a 61, 10, and 10 game, or they ended up winning the 30-20-20 game. But
the 30-20-20 that's the only one they won.
But also that's 20 assists. That's why. So that's the thing.
Exactly.
You're passing the ball. But you look at some of the best games the Nuggets have had when it's one singular player going off for 50 or going off for 40. When it's Jamal Murray, it's a bit different because he typically closes out those games with big numbers and leads them to a win. But most of the time when the Nuggets have one player that succeeds, they don't succeed as a team.
Exactly.
And when you're finding the success, like you were just mentioning in that run, where you're passing it to a different person every time who's open for a great look and a great shot, you win games. That's how you win games. It's as simple as that. Listen to Coach Pop say it for the San Antonio Spurs. No one player would ball out every single game.
So here's something for you. Nikola Jokic's 4 highest scoring games: 61 against Minnesota last year, 56 against the Wizards last year, 53 in that playoff game against the Suns back in 2023 on the road, and then 50.
And we know how that one ended.
And then 50 against the Kings in 2021 regular season. They lost all 4 of those. So his 4,
and one of those is to the Wizards.
He's only scored 50 points 4 times in his career, and the Nuggets have lost all 4 games.
Yeah, that's actually how I was saying. Last year when we were talking about different playoff games, I said multiple times that other teams are going to try to force Nikola Jokic to shoot because as soon as he starts shooting every shot, the Nuggets lose. That's the only way to stop Nikola Jokic. And I don't want to give out any secrets on this show, but it is the only way to stop Nikola Jokic is let him score every time down rather than let him pass, let him find the open look, cover your other guys. And that's something that the Pelicans could do. I mean, they were tearing apart at the seams quickly. It was a quick fall. They were down by 6 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, the Nuggets outscored the Pelicans 39-11. So almost that's just sad. Almost by 30 points.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And the Nuggets were up 18 in the second quarter, and they let it slip. It was 45-27 at one point.
Yeah.
With a little under 7 minutes left in that second quarter. But it just shows like they go on that massive run in the second, they go on that massive run in the third, and that's obviously too much. So and then they're going to get another game to iron things out against the Portland Trailblazers on Friday. First game of whatever the in-season tournament is called now. They changed the name of it every single year, but that'll be interesting. Obviously, Portland doesn't have a head coach right now.
Yeah, it's poor Chauncey.
Because of Chauncey, Nuggets, Buffs legend, Chauncey Billups. So that'll be interesting to see how they perform in that game on Friday. It should be another kind of Pelicans-esque game where it's like, hey, we're better than this team. Let's go out and let's see how we can make the whole team continue to mesh together and build that chemistry early on in the season to start stacking wins.
100%. And this might be the last year that we can look at the Blazers as easy wins again, because if you remember last time they had Dame, they give the Nuggets some hell when they have Dame. Dame on the Blazers, and there's something about him versus the Nuggets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have good. I think that they have a solid roster full of role players. Obviously, like they have Drew Holiday who's playing well. They have Tumani Kamara who just got that contract extension.
Scoot Henderson who could blow up anytime soon.
And those are not number one options. That's why they're not good right now. But when they get Dame, I do think that could be like a frisky, like, hey, that team could be a 7 or even up to a 5 seed, I think.
They took the Nuggets to 3 overtimes a couple seasons ago? It was in 2022,
goodness.
right?
Yeah, goodness.
Yeah, when Dame broke the record for most threes in a game, in a playoff game.
That was, I remember I was scared. And that was the game that Austin, I think that was a 21 playoffs. Because there was no fans in Ball Arena. There was like limited fans.
Oh, you're right. And that was the year. Yep.
And Austin Rivers was like praying to the gods.
Thank God.
Every time Dame Lillard missed threes. So
that was insane.
That's a good point. Like that, when he comes back, if he is able to recover from an Achilles all right, I think that they'll be decent. But Nuggets, it's another game to be like, hey, inferior opponent. Let's go out there. Let's kind of play some more team ball and just work on our stuff. And it should be a win, theoretically.
Yep. Definitely agree with you. Definitely agree. Well, it should be fun. I always love the in-season tournament. They're fun games to watch. Yeah. I've quickly changed on the in-season tournament. I hated it at the beginning, but now I kind of like it. But that will do it for today's episode of From the Nosebleeds. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure, again, to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love seeing your comments. Love seeing you guys in the chat. Roy, good to see you as always. That one's a shout-out for you. But that'll do it for today's episode. We'll be back with you guys again tomorrow, of course, previewing the huge Broncos game coming up, which should be another dominant win against another Texas team. But we'll be back with you guys talking about that tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.